and sitting down with this guy. And that person then goes and tweets this and blows up the internet. And that guy later had to come out and say, I was drunk. I didn't mean it. Again, sitting down with this guy. And that person then goes and tweets this and blows up the internet. And that guy later had to come out and say, I was drunk. I didn't mean it.
Harry once believed he had married into a life of grace and elegance, with a duchess who seemed to embody charm, warmth, and compassion. However, what he truly found himself with was a woman who often acted like the self-crowned queen of chaos and drama. Just when it appears that the storm surrounding Meghan Markle has finally quieted down, she finds a way to ignite yet another whirlwind of controversy. This time, she's turning the spotlight on Harry himself, accusing him of being at the heart of one of the most scandalous rumors to ever rock royal gossip, the infamous Rose Hanbury affair. Meghan's claws are out and she's ready to fight, showing no signs of restraint or mercy.
Of her rage and resentment against William and Catherine for being the alpha royals, for her being stuck with the loser dumb beta royal.
According to Taz, with me now, your response.
Well, Kinsey is right. Giles Corran was on the
Meghan loves to proudly call herself a true foodie, a woman of sophistication who claims to savor life's finest delicacies and embrace elegance in every detail. But when it comes to serving up blame, her appetite appears to be absolutely limitless. According to insiders, tensions are boiling over, and many are furious because, shockingly, Meghan is now accusing Harry of being the very person who sparked the raging wildfire of whispers surrounding Prince William and Rose. Yes, you heard that right. Harry, the man who stood unwaveringly by her side through countless PR disasters, the one who turned his back on his own family and royal dues to build a life with her, is suddenly being painted by Meghan as the guilty party, the one who dragged both of them into the mud of scandal and humiliation.
Waiting for that to be posted, for it to have then hit the mainstream, as it were. Meghan's Sussex squad were the ones that picked up on it, and then it went boom. And it's like, who was following him at that time when only 4 people were in that conversation? Why was there so much attention being paid, waiting for a food critic to say?
Let's be honest, one would think Meghan would eventually know when to stop pointing fingers, but it seems she absolutely thrives on the drama it creates. According to royal watchers, insiders are beyond furious as Meghan has allegedly managed to shift the blame for the infamous Rose Hanbury scandal directly onto Harry's shoulders. Can you even imagine? The very man who once fiercely defended her against relentless press attacks, who stood by her side while facing the wrath of the monarchy and the world, is now being accused by Meghan herself. She's claiming that Harry allowed the scandal to grow, twist, and spiral completely out of control, painting him as the reason it became one of the most talked about royal controversies in recent history. Sources close to the couple reveal that Meghan is absolutely furious with Harry, claiming he didn't step in forcefully, loudly, or quickly enough when the initial whispers about Prince William's alleged affair with Rose Hanbury began to spread. Rather than taking any responsibility herself, Meghan is now twisting the narrative, rewriting history to suggest that it was Harry's silence, his hesitation and lack of decisive action that allowed the rumors to gain traction and explode into a full-blown scandal. She's painting a dramatic picture, implying that if Harry had stamped out the flames early on, none of this chaos would have ever happened. However, critics aren't convinced by her version of events. In fact, many believe that when it comes to sparks and flames, Meghan herself may have been the one holding the matchbox, ready to ignite the fire from the very start.
Every scandal has an origin. Every rumor begins with a single spark, and in this case, critics argue that Meghan herself was the one who struck the first match. Forget the polished palace corridors or the grandeur of royal galas. This drama didn't start in the royal halls. No, the whispers allegedly took root at Soho House, Meghan's personal playground and favorite haunt. Picture it, dimly lit lounges buzzing with secrets, glasses clinking as cocktails flowed freely, and laughter echoing just a bit too loudly to be innocent. Meghan wasn't simply blending into the crowd that night. She was at the very center of it all, commanding attention. Leaning in just a little too close, speaking in hushed tones that felt almost forbidden. She laughed a little too much, just enough to make every word drip with intrigue and danger, setting the perfect stage for a scandal to erupt.
And here's where things take a sharper turn. According to gossip insiders, Meghan allegedly let slip a tiny, tantalizing nugget of information that night at Soho House. A subtle hint suggesting that William's eye might have wandered. She didn't need to make a grand announcement. In high society circles like that, one carefully placed whisper travels faster than a tabloid headline. By the end of the evening, a critic, tipsy on gin and the thrill of scandal, took that single whisper and decided to toss it onto Twitter. One messy, careless tweet, written like a cheeky joke, ended up cracking the polished Windsor fairy tale wide open. The man later tried to laugh it off as drunken banter, but by then, the damage was done. Screenshots exploded across social media, gossip blogs pounced, and tabloids sharpened their knives. The only question on everyone's mind was the most dangerous one of all. Who planted that poisonous seed to begin with?
For Meghan's critics, the answer couldn't be more obvious. At the time, she was already facing intense scrutiny. Headlines screaming about her alleged diva behavior, palace staff members quitting in frustration, and her frosty relationship with Kate Middleton becoming impossible to hide. Meghan was under fire from every angle, her reputation teetering on the edge. So, what better way to shift the spotlight than by flipping the script entirely? By planting a single seed of doubt in William and Kate's seemingly flawless fairy tale world, she could create the perfect distraction. Let that seed grow wild, let the chaos spread on its own, and suddenly, Meghan doesn't appear to be the villain anymore. Instead, she's recast as just another innocent victim swept up in a messy royal scandal. A clever move, if true, and one that left everyone questioning who the real mastermind was behind the storm. Meghan's so-called chess move didn't fade away. It grew, spreading like wildfire. Every time Kate appeared in public, her once bright smile seemed tighter, her flawless image weighed down by relentless speculation. Meghan may have thought she was playing a clever PR game, but the consequences were painfully real, leaving lasting cracks in the royal family's picture-perfect facade. Now, years later, those whispers have circled back like a boomerang, but this time the blame has shifted. Instead of Meghan, fingers are pointing at Harry, accusing him of standing by or even fueling the very rumors that shattered his brother's carefully crafted marriage image and sent shockwaves through the monarchy. Friends close to the couple reveal that Harry's voice has been raised more often than not lately, his anger and frustration spilling over behind closed doors. He feels deeply betrayed, cornered, and used by the very person he sacrificed everything for. One insider even claimed that Harry has been confiding to those he trusts, saying, "Meghan started this, and now everyone thinks it was me." Imagine that. The man who gave up his crown, his home, and his family for Meghan now believes she's thrown him straight under the bus. These are strong, heartbreaking words. But insiders insist they offer the rawest glimpse yet into Harry's private agony and the unraveling of a marriage built on sacrifice and secrets. The cruel irony of it all is almost too much for Harry to bear.
For years, he's been painfully aware of how the press portrays him. William, the golden heir, forever untouchable, while Harry is cast as the reckless, troubled spare. He spent his life fighting against that narrative, speaking out about the unfair treatment and constant comparisons. But now, with the Rose Hanbury scandal being tied to his name, it feels as though his worst nightmare has come to life. Once again, he's become the perfect scapegoat, the one the world blames, while William's image remains polished and protected, leaving Harry feeling more isolated and betrayed than ever.
When you trace the timeline, the pattern feels almost too neat, too suspicious to ignore. Every time Meghan faced intense backlash, whether it was whispers of diva-like behavior, a wave of palace staff resignations, or icy clashes with Kate making headlines, another scandal would mysteriously erupt right on cue. Conveniently, each one shifted the spotlight away from Meghan and onto someone else, sparing her from the worst of the scrutiny. Critics insist this was no coincidence, but rather a carefully calculated strategy. And the most explosive example of all? The Rose Hanbury affair rumor. Practically overnight, the future King of England, Golden Boy William himself, was recast in the public eye as a potential cheater, his pristine image suddenly marred by scandal and doubt.
Insiders are calling it the ultimate stab in the back. If the accusations are true, the Rose scandal was never just about William and Kate's marriage. It was about systematically dismantling the sacred bond between William and Harry, tearing their brotherhood apart piece by piece. The betrayal isn't only William's to bear, it's Harry's as well. Suddenly, Harry is no longer seen as William's protector, his ally, the grieving brother who once walked beside him at Diana's funeral. Instead, he's painted as the betrayer, the man who handed the tabloids the very ammunition needed to destroy his brother's family. And Meghan? To critics, she emerges as the mastermind behind it all, the chaos agent who doesn't merely endure turmoil, but thrives in it. The cruel irony is chilling. Meghan didn't just survive the chaos, she allegedly created it, weaponized it, and wielded it like a shield, leaving devastation in her wake while she remained untouchable.
The scandal bought Meghan precious time, distracting the world from her own controversies and leaving others scrambling while she carefully positioned herself as the misunderstood victim. But now, with whispers swirling that she's thrown Harry into the fire to cover her own tracks, the game looks even colder and more calculated. For years, Harry believed the chaos was an external battle, just the two of them against the world. Yet insiders reveal that he's slowly coming to a devastating realization. The chaos has turned inward. Meghan's weapon of manipulation and scandal hasn't just targeted the monarchy or the media, it struck him too, leaving Harry wounded, betrayed, and questioning everything he thought he knew about the woman he gave up everything for.